The ITIL Qualification, Managing Across the Lifecycle, Course Overview. Welcome to Managing Across the Lifecycle. This freestanding course is also the final module of your ITIL training, leading to the Expert Qualification. Before you start this course, congratulations on your progress so far. This is the most intensive and in-depth of the courses you've taken so far. So we've provided this introductory lesson to help explain the course purpose, structure, and contents. We'll finish with a few words about effective learning online. The purpose of this course is to take a holistic view of the service lifecycle, focusing on all lifecycle elements from a business, management, and supervisory perspective. The course also addresses some of the interfaces and interactions between the lifecycle elements. Previous courses you have completed will have focused on specific lifecycle elements. Now it's time to draw them back together. You might find MALC is different to other ITIL courses you've taken, certainly when you get to the exam. Some delegates have said they felt they were taking a business exam, not an IT exam. You'll need to focus on the management perspective during the course and try and apply the concepts to your organization to really get to grips with what you're learning. Other feedback is that MALC is a tough exam, so bear that in mind too as you study. Remember, the tutor team are there to provide support if you've got any questions. Because of the size of this course, we've split it into 8 modules to reflect the syllabus themes. The modules will focus on business, management, and supervisory objectives, and the purpose, processes, functions, and activities of the elements of the lifecycle. Each module contains a number of lessons to allow you to study in manageable chunks. Remember, the ability to take regular breaks is one of the advantages of learning online. You can see the first 4 modules here. Module 1. Key Concepts of the Service Lifecycle. Module 2. Communication and Stakeholder Management. Module 3. Integrating Service Management Processes Across the Service Lifecycle. And Module 4. Managing Services Across the Service Lifecycle. The next 4 modules are Module 5. Governance, Roles, People, Competence, and the Organization. Module 6. Measurement. Module 7. Implementing and Improving Service Management Capability. And finally, Module 8, Exam Preparation. Over the next 8 slides, we'll summarize the module contents in a little more detail. At the beginning of each individual module, you'll also find a more detailed module contents video with a lesson-by-lesson breakdown. Module 1 is Key Concepts of the Service Lifecycle. This module contains 5 lessons. In this module, we reintroduce the service lifecycle at a high level and look at services, service management, and value composition. We will also take a look at risk, knowledge sharing, and some other concepts. In Module 2, we will focus on communication and stakeholder management. This is quite a short module, with just 3 lessons. This module will look at business relationship management, stakeholder management, and communication. Module 3 deals with the integration of service management processes. This module contains 7 lessons, so it's one of the larger modules. We'll take a high-level view of the service management processes and how they relate to one another. In Module 4, we focus on managing services across the lifecycle. This module contains 5 lessons. This module takes a high-level holistic view of service management from the perspective of managing services and service components through the lifecycle. We'll look at capturing customer and stakeholder needs, measuring service value, and addressing conflicting demands. The focus of Module 5 is on governance and the organizational structure required for successful service management. This module contains 3 lessons. We will start by looking at what governance is and why it's needed. Then we'll look at how a service provider might be organized and the roles and skills needed. Finally, we'll look at the different service provider types and service delivery strategies. Module 6 focuses on measurement. This module contains 3 lessons. We will study the challenges of demonstrating the business value of services. Then we will review the value of measuring and monitoring and look in detail at what to monitor and measure. Finally, we will study monitoring and control systems. In Module 7, we will study how to implement and improve service management capability. This module contains 7 lessons. We start by exploring the need to understand business goals and link them to service management practices. Then we look at different ways of assessing current service management capabilities and using that as a guide for improvement. Next, we look at CSI, including the 7-step improvement process. We'll also look at building a business case, organizational change issues, and the use of service management tools. Module 8 has a single lesson and provides some focus on exam preparation. The MALC exam is similar to, but not the same as, the intermediate exams you're familiar with. The exam structure is slightly different, and the scenarios are supplemented by the case study we'll be using during the course. To maximize your chances of success in the Managing Across the Life Cycle exam, you'll need to plan to spend at least 30 hours studying all of your course material. Effective study time should be spent using the course materials provided, including watching all the video tutorials, at least twice through, completing all the exercises and online quizzes, familiarizing yourself with a case study. It's used in the real exam. Using your study guides to maximum effect. Completing your own study notes and working with the case study provided. And taking the sample practice exams that are also provided. Remember, it's highly recommended that you dedicate some of your study and revision time to review all of the official answers for each sample exam question, too. This is invaluable in helping you to understand the style of the questions and what's expected of you when answering each question. You'll already have had some practice with a graduated multiple-choice style used for the ITIL exams, but it's important to break the questions down from the MALC perspective. As well as the 30 hours mandatory study time, it is officially recommended that you plan to spend at least another 28 hours reading and learning from the 5 core volumes. Feedback from successful candidates suggests you should plan this additional reading time into your study timetable. Other documents like course syllabus and case study are also stored safely within your download area. These can be accessed, opened, saved, and printed out for your reference. At the end of most lessons, you'll be prompted to access and download a relevant study guide. Lesson study guides are a critical component of your online learning experience. These detailed documents contain all the information from each lesson and are yours to download, print off, and keep, even when your course subscription has ended. One of the main differences between MALC and the other ITIL courses is the use of a case study as the basis of some of the questions. You will find the case study in your download area. Make sure you get a copy at the end of this lesson. We'll be asking you to refer to the case study during the course exercises. You will need to be very familiar with it before you approach your final exam. You should consider making your own notes and mind maps of the organization represented in the case study. You will be provided with a clean copy of it to use during the exam. Before you begin each period of study, please ensure that you are ready to learn. Sounds pretty obvious, but self-study and online learning are most effective if you are able to concentrate without being interrupted by any external distractions. Make sure you are comfortable in your study environment, well hydrated, and really focused to ensure you get the best value from your course. Unless you are a mastermind or superbrain, you'll probably find that your concentration will drop if you try and run through a whole module at once. Remember, it's not a race. You should watch, listen, read, and learn actively by leveraging the different materials provided. Of course, the huge advantage with online learning is that you can take regular breaks, split your study time into manageable chunks, and study as and when it best suits you. Where there is a longer video tutorial to watch, why not make sure you pause it at regular intervals? This way you can update your study notes as you go. And remember, if you feel like you're struggling at any point, just contact one of our tutors. Our accredited tutor team will be available to answer your inquiries, typically the next working day. As you progress through the lessons in your course, you may see some text in italics and quotation marks. This text is drawn directly from the ITIL core volumes, so you will need to pay close attention to it. Okay, if you're ready, let's get started with a detailed introduction to managing across the lifecycle. You'll start with Module 1, Key Concepts of the Service Lifecycle.